Hey guys, and welcome to my finished castle project that took over 4 months to design and build, the Château Saline-en-Breizh. Before we start the tour about all the details and building techniques of the 60,000 brick MOC, I kindly ask you to leave a like and subscribe as it helps to gain more visibility to my medieval creations. Okay, so if you watched my previous videos about the gatehouse and the keep, or follow me over on Instagram, you know that this castle is set in the late medieval period in the Duchy of Brittany. This time period was marked by the vicious 100 Years' War against England and France, and a civil war, progress in military warfare, and a splendid late medieval architecture and art style. I especially aim to recreate a realistic Breton castle, considering the architecture of the early 15th century and some historic and landscape features. One quick disclaimer before we get into the video: I'm gonna talk a lot, maybe too much, about every detail, so be warned, you're in for a ride. For the landscape, the castle is set in marshland, not far away from the Atlantic Ocean. Due to tide, the settlers of this region decided to cultivate precious sea salt. The castle is in the middle of those traditional sea salts, controlling and taxing the goods and collecting huge profits. This is why the lords of Château Saline-en-Breizh could invest in the most advanced defensive architecture, all while reserving enough comfort for the nobles and their guests. Château Saline-en-Breizh is shaped like a triangle and is flanked by 6 round towers. 2 of them guard the entrance, one guards the door to the docks, one guards the salipod, and the biggest one is the power symbol of Château Saline-en-Breizh, the mighty donjon. Round towers were very common in Brittany, mimicking the Philippian-style architecture of the early 13th century in France. The round shape leaves no blind spot for the defenders and is also able to deflect stone projectiles from trebuchets or cannons. The towers have different type of openings and follow a rather simple scheme. On the base, you've got the bigger windows which can allow artillery fire from cannons and mortars. The cannons are very hard to pull up to the first floor and quite heavy, so they risk to break the wooden floors. That's why there are only arrow loops. On the second and third floor, the lords decided to pierce windows into the walls, letting some light into the heavily fortified towers. The towers as the battlements are crowned with stone matriculations, so no attacker is safe on the base. The weak point of any wall is a hole, which is often called the gate. That's why it needs even harder defensive protection. The castle being surrounded entirely by water means that attackers need to get by the drawbridge, which is pulled up during an attack. Once attackers pass by the drawbridge, 2 portcullis are able to trap invaders and murder holes will do the dirty work. Another weak point of a castle is its storage shortage during a siege. That's why the castle has 2 escape opportunities. Defenders can sneak out by night through the docks or the salipod and delivering a message to a friendly relieving force, or to launch a secret raid on the enemy encampment by night. That's enough about the military aspects of Château Saline-en-Breizh. Now I want to take time to show you some architectural features of Brittany I tried to recreate. First up is the color selection. The dark grey walls could be regional Le Guido stone, the dark tan arches and matriculation can be sandstone, which is easier to shape. The light grey stripe you see on the battlements is what I believe were whitewashed to give the battlements a more distinct look. Being in the late Gothic period, Gothic arches are everywhere. They cover the main entrance, such as the entrances to the towers and the exit to the docks. But the most precious entrance is the decorated entrance to the Great Hall building. Pillars, sculptures, shields and Gothic ornaments make for an impressive entrance and signal to every guest that behind this door power and wealth resides. But the late medieval architecture isn't just all arches, it's also windows. Square windows with a Latin cross frame were very common. Behind the stone frame is the wooden frame holding some slug glass together. This is why I needed to step up the building technique to make it look like the wooden frame is in dark red, because that's how I observed it in real life Breton castles. Other architectural elements are the various chimneys indicating comfort on the inside and the various turrets housing spiral staircases to move comfortably from one floor to another. Now let's focus on how people actually lived and worked in the castle. I will mainly focus on the artillery tower, so the smaller tower, and the Great Hall building, because I didn't do a special video for these 2 models. In short, the dungeon and the gatehouse have barracks, artillery, a weaponry stand, such as living quarters for the captain and the garrison and the nobles. Some of them are quite fancy with beautiful mural decorations and cozy furniture. The yard provides basic needs for the castle, hosting a well, manipulated by a hamster wheel, a blacksmith and a food storage, firewood storage, and also a small garden where the cook grows vegetables, herbs and local spices. In the artillery tower you also have a cannon emplacement and some barracks on the first floor. crane can lift up goods from the outside into the safe storage. The artillery tower also guards the door to the docks where salt and other goods can be shipped. The Great Hall building is the biggest of them all, consisting of 20,000 bricks and many rooms and chambers. On the base, the nobles can park their private horses in the stables, where the servants and squires take good care of them. In case of an escape, this is also the place where the defenders can access to the sally port. It is carefully guarded by another cannon emplacement. If you remember the fancy door from before, now you know what lies behind. The Lord's own arsenal. Next to a huge collection of halberds, swords and shields, the Lord also possesses some culverines and 2 mortars. Moving up the spiral staircase, we get to the Great Kitchen, where the cook prepares the menu for the Lord's feast and where the soldiers and commoners have their break time. On this floor is also the Gothic chapel with some interesting mural portraying wild flowers and a fruit tree. Inside of the flanking tower is another important room, the bathing compartment. Moving up, we get to the Great Hall. A mural of St. George and a dragon decorate the wall, such as a tapestry portraying a night sky. In front of a big fireplace, the Lord can welcome his guests and impress them with the beauty of his castle. In the round tower there is a now empty conference chamber where the Lord gathers his advisors. Moving up, we reach the Lord and Lady's chambers. Both of them are equipped with carpets, murals, 4-poster beds, chimneys and all kinds of accessories and furnitures. Under the roof on the last floor is where the commoners have the dormitory. Between boxes, chests, food storages and barrels, the commoners always find time to party, so the morale is quite up. Well, I also hope that your morale is up after my long monologue. I would really appreciate it if you support my work on YouTube and Instagram, as it took me over 4 months to build and design this castle. Many hours of planning, building, making instructions, rendering and cutting, so that you can enjoy my by now biggest and most detailed creation. If you are brave enough, instructions of this MOC are on Rebrickable, so go have a look. I'm taking some time now to plan my next creation, and I'm not very sure what I'm going to make, so comment your ideas under this video, maybe I'll choose one. Thanks for sticking till the end, bye!